I'm going to explain how Google actually works, as in how do they decide what ranks at the first page of their results, which is the top spot that you want to be. So here's how Google works. When you type something into the search bar, that's a little magnifying glass, you type some words into the search bar, like this word here I've got called vault. All of the different things could come up. There's pages and pages of results. The first page usually has 10 results. What Google is looking for to determine which pages are on the first, so which websites are on the first page is two things. Number one, they're looking for relevance. So obviously, if I type in shoes, then all of the pages of results should all be about shoes. How do I know that your particular website page is about shoes? Because you have to have that keyword, shoes, somewhere in it. If I type in wide women's shoes, well then you need to have wide women's shoes somewhere on your page so that I know your page is about that, and there is relevance there. So that's the first thing. It's about relevance. Number two is this thing known as popularity. Why? Because someone types in shoes and there's millions of website pages that are all about shoes. How does it know which is the first position, second position, third position? It's about popularity. Popularity, also known as trust, authority, credibility. Which website pages on the internet should Google trust? Which ones are popular? How does it know that your website is popular? Let's say this is your website here. More specifically, to be a bit technical, Google doesn't rank websites, it ranks pages. So that's your website, and then you've got this one page. This page here is about shoes. I'm going to write SH for shoes. Links from other pages are links of a vote of popularity. I'll just repeat that. Links from other pages on the internet are links of popularity. So let's say there's a page here. This is a page called, How to Dress for Success, and it links from that page to your website about shoes. Now that's a link to your website, so now Google knows, wow, they've got one link to that website. They must be not very popular because it's only one link. So if you've got the more links, the better. So the person with the most links wins, but also the person with the highest quality link wins. I could create 50 different websites tonight, 50 little pages, and link them all up here. That's not as good as one page that is very, very trustworthy. If I have this massive page here, let's call it Sydney Morning Herald, a big website that's very trustworthy, or it doesn't have to be a newspaper. It could be any website that's trustworthy, been around for a long time, etc. If it has one link to my website page, that is worth more than all these other ones. So it's about the quality and quantity of links going to your page, and it's about the keywords on your page that show the relevance. There are hundreds and hundreds of signals that Google takes into account. If I go through all of them, your mind will just churn. But these are the two main ones. It's been like that for a very, very long time too. So relevance and popularity. If you're curious as to some of the other signals they look at things like site speed. They look at how long it takes for your website to load. They look at, is it mobile friendly or not? They look at how your site structure is. So if you've got a site map and then the spider can crawl, there's a whole bunch of technical stuff. That is all of the minutiae. The main thing is it popular? Is it relevant? Have you got relevant content on there? The good thing about this day and age is that Google is getting better at figuring out what a good web page looks like. In the olden days, you could kind of game the system. You could do sneaky things like keyword stuffing. You could just put on the page, women's shoes, women's shoes, women's shoes a lot, and you would rank for women's shoes. Or you could put it in the URL. I could buy a domain name called womensshoes.com.au, and I would rank higher for women's shoes. All that stuff doesn't really matter too much anymore. The main thing is that the content is really good. The longer people spend on your website page reading, the more actions they take on that page. Google can see that because they have Google Chrome browser. A lot of websites have tricky things like Google Analytics, so they can see the statistics. So the longer people spend on your page, the more they interact and engage, the better the content must be, and therefore you'll get pushed higher up the rankings. And that's good news for small business owners, because in the past you had to spend a lot of money or do a lot of tricks. These days, you just have to write good content. So a SEO search specialist who works for Google once got asked this question: what's the main key ingredient for ranking on Google? And here is what he said. He said the main key ingredient for ranking on Google is this thing. And he called it awesomeness. Just be awesome. That's another good way of saying content is king. Just help people. Just be an awesome person that if I'm Googling how to fix a car, you show me everything on how to fix a car. You give me diagrams, step-by-step instructions, a meaty blog post that's, that long, because that's how long it takes to fix a car. Not just some article that was written by an outsourcer for 500 words that just got copied from other websites, and you just did a thing called article spinning, and now you made a 500-word criteria and hope to get ranked. Just don't do that. Just be awesome. Write a really good article that helps people, create a really good video that helps people, and Google will reward you. Because don't forget, what is Google trying to do? They want to make sure that when people type something into Google, they get the result they're looking for, a great result. Why? So people keep using Google and they can keep serving you ads and offering other services. Just remember, the main key ingredient is awesomeness, but more specifically, relevance and popularity. That's how Google determines who's at the top of the search results.